So I'm going to talk about the dark side of Foursquare. And I'm going to ask you to remember a time, not so long ago, when we could all come together around the table to break bread together without distraction. Now, a lot has changed since then. Food has gone from something of scarcity to a commodity that's become abundant. And we now fetishize things like vegan, organic cinnamon buns. And interestingly, we still wait in long lines to get them. But we fetishize food so much that we just want to photograph it. We want to plaster it all over the internet. We want to check in on Yelp or Foursquare, post about it on Yelp, take photos on Instagram. We just want to tweet it all the time. So much so that we scarcely remember to enjoy the meal itself. It's all about telling others about the experience, as in, that tagine was totally tubular. Let's check in, tweet up, and tune out. And I'm going to argue that food blogging as a sector has not only become a nuisance, but it's become an unsustainable nuisance. And I'm going to do that by analyzing whether the caloric energy we expend on talking, tweeting, and posting about food is recuperated in the meal itself, or are we facing a caloric deficit? So take a look at this taco. A taco embodies the perfect ennui of the writhing MacBook classes, a belief that fulfillment lies in cooing over carne asada. And this is not sustainable. According to my analyses, there's 300 calories in a taco, and that's far below what it takes to sustain those tweets and photos into perpetuity, not to mention the human energy to produce them. Take an average server room, it's about 50 megawatts of energy. That's 43 million calories, or 43,000 of the kilocalories per hour. 140 tacos per hour, that's a lot of tacos that you'd have to eat. All of these analyses fail to take into account the externalities produced by Yelp posts, for example. All the hot air and the feedback loops of the retorts and arguments that ensue. Just to put it in human terms, the average avatar on Second Life needs about as much energy as the average Brazilian. Is this fair? What we'd really like here is a balanced budget. We'd like the calorie conferred by that taco to be equal to or greater than all that's lost on the servers and the tweets, the photographs. So I've gone ahead and done an analysis looking at major metropolitan areas in the US to ask which are the areas that are most calorie neutral, the most calorie dense foods and the least tweets. That's, places like Dallas and Atlanta, real American cities. Whereas the greatest calorie deficit, places like San Francisco, just to put it visually for you data viz geeks, this map shows in red the best areas, and in blue those with the biggest deficit. It's come to my attention that a number of people at this conference come from places of severe calorie deficit. So this turns to the policy part of the talk, which is how do we achieve calorie neutrality by 2020? Surprisingly, the US is not keen on international calorie neutrality treaties, but I'm going to suggest 3 things you can do locally to get there. So the first is to institute a tax on food bloggers. This can help education programs for calorie parity. The second will appeal to environmentalists, and that's to take old servers and recycle them into taco trucks. Now, if you've been paying attention, you'll say, well, won't this produce more tacos, more tweets, and more caloric disparity? No, it's actually going to saturate the market and dampen the tweets, according to models. This is the most controversial of all the proposals, and that's to force-feed excessive tweeters. Those people who face such personal caloric disparity that they need to be taken into government custodianship in this regard. The bottom line is that our society has become opulent. We have become used to consuming less than we waste in the servers and the tweets. And this fetishization of food is really the ailment of modern society, the wood-fired oven of the vanities in which we live. Because there's always someone to tell about the ratatouille you're about to eat. Always something better to do than to be present at the present meal. So I'll leave you with this thought. Caloric neutrality is up to you. Next time you're out and about, you might consider how many calories are in that mushroom I'm about to consume, and how many will I waste by tweeting about it. And you can think of this new mantra for caloric neutrality. Butter up, unplug, and pig out. Thank you.